I just heard
that was actually about a friendly, humble Brad birthday dinner.
Oh, that's fun. Wow. I just heard truffle pig as a description for somebody, and I'm trying to remember what I was watching.
I love truffle pig.
I think it was it might have been Righteous Gemstones, but somebody described them as like you're like little problem truffle pigs snuffling out little issues.
That's
right?
funny.
And I was like, ooh, that's a great insult.
Yeah, that is a great insult.
Like just something truffle pig.
Right.
Beautiful.
Yep. Yeah.
I think our listeners should be called truffle pigs.
Well, they're already fun bears.
Yeah, they're fun bears, but they could be truffle pigs. How about this?
If they go through the system. We have a system.
I was going to say, maybe if a listener sends in like a really interesting story, then if they get to that point where they send in something that's great, they're a truffle pig because they like kind of like dug into their own history and gave us a podcast moment.
This
like
is
a big
good.
moment. So if like they emailed and they said revelation, and then they told us that they, did like a terrorist act,
Right.
or maybe had sex like on a farm at night with someone they didn't even meet ever. Before that,
I'm glad it was someone.
It was just
Because
interesting.
It went from like the Oklahoma City bombing to fucking maybe a human on a farm at night. Why was it at night and you've never met them? You don't know, and you're like, I had the most beautiful sexual experience.
All they did was buy.
Yeah. Did you go to a farm and then just find genitals and then things happened?
It was a beautiful night. It was the most romantic night. I'll never forget it. I think of it often. Her beautiful flowing hair. Her sculpted haunches.
Her tender hooves.
Yeah, her chestnut mane.
If you did sniff up a story like this,
EI. Oh,
terrible.
Thank you.
So if you do, sniff up a story like this, you're a truffle pig.
Chuck
in the
calls
world
that
of fun.
finding a needle in the haystack. That was a small penis joke. It was.
I want to put my needle in that haystack.
Oh boy.
Maybe my jeweler's loop to that haystack.
All right, that's 3 episodes in a row with the jeweler's loop.
I was like a little truffle pig trying to find a soft open, and unfortunately, I think I found it.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Funbearable. I am Brad Rohr.
I am, unfortunately, Ray Harrington.
Radioactive Chuck Staten. We already decided that doesn't work for my name.
We didn't.
Yeah. Toxic Chuck.
That's right.
Yeah.
I like Toxic Chuck Syndrome. That's cool.
There's a thing.
Yeah. Toxic. I'm gonna chuck you. That's fun, right?
I think
No, I don't think Toxic Shock Syndrome is fun.
Well, as a villain,
Toxic Chuck Syndrome.
Toxic
is fun.
Chuck Syndrome is fun.
I think
There is a cream for it.
I think that's going to be sweeping the nation's psychiatry offices over the coming days and months.
Are there, you know how you can get like a KFC Taco Bell?
Yeah.
Are there gynecologist, psychologist offices?
Yes,
Because
if
if
so.
so, there's a poster right up there that
Yeah.
says like 10 signs that you have Toxic Chuck Syndrome.
So in other words, if like one of our T-shirts was like me like. And like there's like little lightning bolts coming out of my hand. There's a Toxic Chuck Syndrome. People are not gonna like that.
I think we'll sell 4 immediately, and then never again.
No, that's weird. 2 are shipping to Rhode Island and 2 are shipping to Staten Island.
And then Chuck has one on every time.
So that you think it'd be like it's not in poor taste. It's just like who wants it, right?
Right.
Yeah. Like an Arby's sandwich. I wouldn't say it's in poor taste, but it's
Right.
also not in good taste.
Yeah,
either, you know what I mean?
yeah, sure.
Like an old beef and cheddar.
It's just something you don't want to be associated with. I guess.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Sure.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah. Speaking of things that you don't want to be associated with,
Yeah.
there was a situation at a convention
Yes.
Yeah.
that happened.
So we wanted to tell you about this because
You
I thought it was
teased
kind
it,
of
yeah.
funny.
Yes.
Well, I think we should. We'll kind of explain how we got to this thing that we did.
Sure.
Brad and I went to a convention recently, and a funny thing happened.
And what was the convention? Was it like a real estate, protein shakes?
It was mostly plants.
Plant convention.
Plant.
Yeah, a plant festival convention.
No,
FernCon 23.
no.
Ooh.
Just to lay it out there. Brad and I moderate at cons once in a while. We usually do Rhode Island Comic Con. The people who run that are kind of expanding this year and doing a bunch of more cons called Contropolis. That's how they're branding it. And so they've done a couple: Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, New Jersey.
Yes.
So we did the Pennsylvania one a few months ago. We met Jamie Farr and Loretta Swit from MASH. Remember?
Yes, I do.
We did hear about that.
We talked about it.
Yeah.
And then the next one we went to was in Massachusetts. And it was about an hour and a half from here. I believe it was on Father's Day.
Yeah, Father's Day weekend, yes.
Yeah, it was on Father's Day.
It was Saturday.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh, that's my
Father's
day.
Day Eve.
My panel was supposed to be on Father's Day.
Father's Eve, yes.
And it got canceled the
Right.
day before.
Father's Day Eve, that's when you leave out a Miller High Life.
Yep. And a lawnmower.
And a lawn, yeah.
A lawnmower.
Sure. Yeah.
So what happened was,
And that beef and cheddar from Arby's.
so we were tasked with moderating panels for, I was going to do Sean Patrick Flannery, who plays one of the Boondock Saints,
Yep.
and also plays young Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Which I wanted to throw him some questions this way about
Absolutely.
our thoughts. Fun.
I have a fun quick story about Sean Patrick Flannery.
Yes, please.
So when I was starting stand-up comedy,
Right.
in Portland, Maine,
Mm-hmm.
the biggest comic in Maine, Bob Marley,
Yes.
was in Boondock Saints.
Yes,
and
that's right.
Boondock Saints 2,
Right.
Electric Boondockaloo.
Yep.
And so the Boondock Saints 2 was coming out, and I knew Bob Marley at this point, and I was working at a movie theater, and so I talked to Bob. We arranged a special screening
Oh, yeah.
before the movie officially came out
Nice.
at my theater. So he came, we did our thing, blah, blah, blah. He had me open for him for some shows and stuff like that. And then he was like, hey, we're doing a screening in Portland, and it's like the big one, and Sean Patrick Flannery is going to be there.
Yeah.
Do you want to go? I was like, yeah, absolutely.
Of
You know, I
course.
was invited by one of the people from the movie. That's fucking cool,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
I'm a college kid. I'm
Yeah.
just like, hell yeah.
Hell to the yeah.
Brought a friend with me.
Yeah.
And we are sitting in like the I would say the first row of like the back seats. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I'm sitting there with my friend. We're like, cool, this will be fun. And then Sean Patrick Flannery walks in and is sitting right behind me. So for the whole movie, I'm just like, Sean Patrick Flannery is right behind me, right?
yeah.
That dude from Suicide Kings is right behind me.
Yeah, yeah.
The guy from Indiana Jones Jr. is
every-
right behind me.
And every time his character says like a quippy thing, you're like, ha ha! Like you're like trying
yeah,
to tell
I
him,
respect you, haha, right? Like that.
I am a big fan and I respect your work.
Yeah, and I was like, what am I going to say?
Yeah.
When the movie's over and
Hey.
the Q&A's done, what am I saying?
I just had this with Buscemi.
Okay,
last
so
summer.
so I'm standing there, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm going to stand up at the end, and I'm going to turn around, and I'm going to say something to Sean Patrick Flannery.
Sorry for being so tall.
At first, I was going to say, incredible, fantastic sequel.
Right.
You guys surpassed the original. I realized I couldn't do
I
that.
liked Boondock Saints too.
All right, that's fine.
I think they did a good job.
And then, so I went with, I stood up and I went, hey, big fan, shook his hand, and I went, I've been a fan of you since Indiana Jones, young Indiana Jones,
Yes.
right? And he's like, oh, and he lit up and,
Right.
and we chatted a little bit. And that was my compliment to him.
Yeah,
was
he's-
that. Because there was a period of time where I was like, this guy, when I was in like high school, I was like, Sean Patrick Flannery is cool as shit.
He
right?
is cool.
I thought he was one of
Yeah.
those guys where it's just like, this guy's really, really cool.
Yeah.
And
I think he's cool.
That's it. Yeah.
I mean, I think he like basically started his own like dojo and stuff like that. And he's really invested in like karate and stuff, isn't he?
I don't. You did the research
That's
on
new
his
to
panel.
me.
Well, yes, I did.
Is it like an Irish form of martial art?
I think.
Because he's Sean Patrick Flannery.
I'll have to fill in the audience on this in the future because we have a lot of stuff going on today. So
Are you
we
sure?
don't have
Because
enough time.
we're
Would
talking about it
be-
right now. We could.
What would be an Irish martial art?
Well, you start like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's got to be
They
a martial
stand
art.
sideways.
Like-
have you seen the Celtics logo?
Yeah, it's got to be like a, I don't know. Is it like a guy hitting his kid? You know what I mean? Or something like that. That's an Irish thing. I'm Irish. I can say that. Oh,
Yeah,
the famine.
Potato nunchucks.
He's doing the blight. He's doing the blight. Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
potato nunchucks.
And every
It's-
shot is to the liver.
I would love
Yeah.
potato nunchucks, but they'd be like, Chuck, like, where's your weapons? And I'm like,
and there's just a chain
They were so
with
tasty.
crumbs on the end.
Have you guys seen potato nunchucks live? They suck live.
what is the chain made out of?
Oh,
and I'm gnawing at it.
I was
It's
saying,
metal.
It's onion rings.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Sean Patrick Flanery, he was one of those guys. There's just like a group of, I was thinking about this yesterday because I was watching the new Wes Anderson movie.
Oh yeah.
Asteroid City. It's great. Love Wes Anderson. I think the movement online of like showing every movie, if it was Wes Anderson, is so like dumb and diminutive. It reduces all of his genuinely great work into just like, it's people standing in the center with weird colors. It's like, no. The blocking is fucking impeccable on a Wes Anderson movie. Anyway, I was watching it, and it reminded me of another actor, Adam Goldberg.
Yes.
From the 90s.
He was in Dazed and Confused, among other
He was another actor where if I saw him in an indie, I would be like, oh, this is going to be cool.
Yeah.
Like, he's a cool guy.
Yes.
Is he, I'm trying to think if he's the person I think he is. Adam Goldberg. Did he have like a beardy thing?
He did have a beardy thing.
Because he had brown hair.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, it's exactly what I thought it was. I love that guy.
He's VJ, very Jewish.
He's good.
Yeah, that's what it says in his dating profile. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, he was always like, there were always these certain actors. I think that's an interesting, we should talk about that at another point when we can all think about who they are. And come to the table with like, you're in puberty and you're like figuring out the world, and every single guy that's older than you is a potential role model.
Right.
I think I had
and
that
these
with
actors are just like, that person is cool.
Yeah.
And I think that's how you should be when you're older. You know what I mean?
Yes. Oh, for sure. And it's funny because like there are some that I think are like they kind of transcended like most people into that action like place, like Jean-Claude Van Damme and Steven Seagal. But that we're not talking about like the martial arts masters.
No.
We're talking about the cool guys.
Yeah.
Basically, essentially, who could be the next Brad Pitt in Fight Club?
Sort of. I get it's sort of that, but I think it's more like you're at this impressionable age.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
And it's like this is the hero in that movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you watch that and it's like
I'm
that's
him.
you. You know,
Right.
oh my God, I just drew a blank on his name. Oh no. He was in Sidekick. With Chuck Norris. He was on Sequest DSV or whatever. Jonathan
Majors.
Something.
No, not Majors. We don't talk about Jonathan Majors.
Frakes?
Jonathan Frakes? That sounds very
That sounds
close
like
and right.
a name.
He was a guy where every time I saw him, he was in like the Never-Ending Story sequel.
Yeah.
I was always like, that guy's my guy. He's cool as shit.
I definitely have some people like that. It's funny because I think some of them were on TV shows, and I'm trying to think of exactly who they were.
Not Jonathan Frakes.
Which one was Jonathan Frakes? That sounds so familiar to me.
He is a much older man.
Oh. Wait a minute. Is Jonathan
Brandis was on Sequest.
Brandis sounds very familiar, yeah.
You know who
Unfortunately, died. That's him, yeah.
You know who I
R.I.P.
actually thought was pretty cool, but like more of like a fun, cool friend that I looked at that way was Jason Marsden in Boy Meets World.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Which is funny.
Jonathan Frakes played Riker in
That's
Star
what
Trek.
I was going
The
to
Next
say. I
Generation.
think that was Riker. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Hey, cool as shit guy. Good role model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch that guy sit on a chair.
We'll have to
Fuck
talk
yeah.
about it. It's funny too because then you think of the people that like at the time you were like, yeah, whatever, and now they're awesome. Like I think of, this is a very niche character, but Ernie Reyes Jr.
Yeah.
I think he's fucking awesome. But in like Ninja Turtles 2, you're just like, oh, it's just a kid.
Right.
He's just a kid in that movie. But he's like, have you seen him recently at all? He's like a badass. He's like
Right.
the coolest guy ever. Anyway.
You're always talking. You go on and on about. Oh man, I can't remember his name. He was on a sitcom in the 80s. You thought it was like okay, but later you like all of his later stuff. I think he was in Ghost Dad. I want
Right,
to say.
Yes,
yeah.
that's right.
What's that guy's name?
He was in Spy. No, that was Eddie Murphy. It was,
Ben Crosby.
I do like Bing Crosby.
Bing Crosby?
Bing Crosby?
Was it Bing? No, that isn't
No.
it. That isn't it.
Will.
William. I think there's a William.
So
So anyway. Anyway.
Right.
yeah, sorry.
So the plan for the weekend was that I was going to moderate a panel for Sean Patrick Flanery, Boondock
SBF
Saints.
100.
Brad was going to moderate a panel for Jake the Snake.
Yep. The wrestler.
All right.
Do you know that?
No, I didn't know. I do now.
Yeah.
Well, so here's the thing: when he
I'm
does
fully
it,
informed at this point.
when he does it, I'm going to ask a question to pit them against each other, which I think is really funny.
Right.
Sure.
But cruel.
Not really. He's old. He's
depends
not
on
going
what
to
you
beat
say.
you up.
It's Chuck was going to mock Jake the Snake and pretend like I had been the one to mock Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's good stuff. Anyway, So I was going to, anyway, I'm not going to get into it. It was kind of a funny thing too, because they told us at first, they're like, well, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I'm listening intently. I just did think of like the thing that you would say.
What did you think? I'll tell you if it's close.
All right, you're looking at a note card and you say like, earlier before the panel, Brad had said that he would absolutely cuck you by fucking your wife if he could possibly get it up to that ugly bitch.
It was like 75% of that.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, yeah.
But at first, they're like, you and Brad are going to moderate a panel with Jake the Snake and the Honky Tonk Man, who's another wrestler.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, okay. And like,
What are his political views?
I don't. And the funny thing
They
is,
are what you think they would be.
it's funny because I don't know the Honky Tonk Man at all. It's
Honky Tonk Man. What a fuck! If that wasn't a wrestler, if that was like, did you hear in the new Avengers movie they're doing? They're introducing Honky Tonk Man.
First of all, I'm buying a ticket then. So
Well, what do we got over here?
I can't stop dancing.
So I didn't really know about him.
He's got spoons.
I think Jake the Snake is big enough that people are just like, yeah, he's a wrestler, whatever.
Yeah.
Honky Tonk Man, I don't really know. Both of them are kind of before my time, obviously. I didn't start watching
but
wrestling.
during my time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I told our
The
buddy,
peak of Honky Tonk.
I told our buddy Jen, and Jen has been getting into wrestling like crazy. Mm-hmm. And she's like, are you sure you're going to moderate for a Honky Tonk and Jake? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, I don't think they want to be around each other. I think they hate each other. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like storyline? Which doesn't make any sense because they're so old.
Yeah.
She's like, no, I think they really hate each other.
I heard Jake the Snake is firmly anti-Tonk.
It was so I started looking it up, and I'm like, and what happened was, you know how people like hit each other with guitars in wrestling sometimes,
Yeah.
and they're very fake and they're thin.
Yeah.
The first time it ever happened, Honky Tonk hit Jake the Snake with a guitar in the head.
Mm-hmm.
Ruptured 3 of his discs in his neck. It was a real guitar.
Jesus.
And that led to his painkiller addiction, which was like ruined his life.
Yeah.
And the footage is ghastly.
damn. So
the footage is crazy.
Honky Tonk Man is a villain.
Yes.
Jake the Snake was in a hospital bed going, damn you, Honky Tonk Man.
So
If
I
Captain
watched,
America had been there with the shield, though.
So
Wouldn't have happened.
I'm like, I was trying to figure this out. I'm like, how could the people that organized this though be misinformed if they really hate each other in real life?
Yeah.
And so I'm watching this documentary that came out last year where WWF goes around and looks for these famous items, and they looked for the guitar.
Yeah.
Jake the Snake and Honky Tonk Man were like, they refused to film together, and I'm like, what are we doing? I'm like, me and Brad have to settle the beef between Honky Tonk and Jake.
We were prepared to do so.
Finally, a panel I want to go to.
So I was like, all right. This is why I was like,
Excuse me, Jake. I heard it was Chuck and Brad who said those things about your wife.
no, you're already in the air.
Mr. Tonk, same for you.
So I'm like, all right. At first, I started thinking of like, how do I ingratiate myself to the Snake and stick Brad with Honky Tonk?
Sure.
Right?
Yes.
And they reached it. Then the organizers of the con called me one day. And they're like, whoa, big change of plans. We talked to Snake and Honk, and they're not psyched about this idea. And I'm like, I knew that.
Did you tell him that the interviewer would be Skifflin Brad Roar?
Scaring Brad.
No, Skiffling. Yeah,
I know, but skittering is funny.
And he's putting on oh no. Those fingertip sewing things.
Thimbles.
Thimbles. He's putting thimbles on for his washboard.
Yeah.
Trembling Brad Roar.
Trembling Brad Roar. Is he cold?
No.
So we're like, all right, we got a Boondock Saint, a Snake. I'm like, who else we got in this thing? And they were like, Brad, you're going to moderate for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the original, Kristy Swanson from the movie. And I said, okay. And they said, and Chuck, you're going to do Joey Lauren Adams from Chasing Amy. And Chasing Amy's like one of my favorite movies, has always been one of my favorite movies. I love Joey Lauren Adams. I love all the stuff she's done. So I was like, all right, this is going to be great. And so, we got all ready. We packed our car. We left from here. We drove to the con in Massachusetts, which was like an hour and a half away.
Yep.
And
listening to all the best Honky Tonk you can.
Oh yeah.
yeah, listen to just the Jake the Snake theme song on repeat.
Right.
They don't let my horse in the bar no more. Right.
I'm
Like,
helping-
stuff like that.
We brought our own python in the car just to get used to being around snakes.
We filled the car with snakes just to get used to it. That would be so funny.
They don't like the Tonk. Turn down the Tonk.
Turn the honk.
They like the honky. They hate the Tonk.
The volume button broke off. But so we get there and they're doing these cons for the first time. You know what I mean? Like Rhode Island Comic Con has been around for a long time and it draws like 100,000 people.
Yeah.
And it's in this huge area.
The first guest of the Rhode Island Comic Con was Roger Williams,
Yeah, that's right. He was the
founder of one of these areas. I don't know. He's got a lot of names on stuff.
he sure does. And so we get there, and it's like they're just starting these cons, so they're figuring it out in a new building. And so we get there, and they're like, "Yep, you're all set." And as soon as we're walking in, the guy that puts all our panels together says to me and Brad, he says, "Listen, Joey Lauren Adams is not going to be here tomorrow. So Saturday was supposed to be Kristy Swanson, Jake the Snake, Sean Patrick Flannery. Sunday was supposed to be Jordan Adams."
Judge your Lord.
And so he says to us,
JLA.
she wants to leave tomorrow. So we're putting Joey Lauren Adams onto the Kristy Swanson panel, and you guys will both moderate. And I was like,
They
okay.
have nothing to do with each other.
They were
They-
in one movie together.
They were in 2 movies together: Big Daddy and The Program.
They were both in Big Daddy.
Yes.
I just saw most of Big Daddy with my son Finn.
There you go.
Did you like it?
Did
he like the little guys?
It's not there yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's just not there yet. I think he needs to be old enough to be like, oh man, he's saddled with this kid. Instead of being like, I kind of identify with the kid.
Yeah, I would identify
Yeah,
with the kid.
yeah.
Yeah. So, we're like, okay. And the thing is, I didn't get my questions ready yet. So I'm like, all right, well, we gotta, we set up the cameras, and we're like, we gotta get questions ready. So where they had the panel was actually outside of the convention center. They sent up a huge tent in the parking lot, and they put
Why
chairs
even
in there.
be at the convention center? Do it at a fucking Applebee's. You know
Well,
what I mean?
well,
Why is it at a convention center
Well,
if the
it's-
panels are outside?
It's just the panels were outside, so all
Okay.
the tables for all the guests and artists and
Yeah.
everything were indoors.
Okay.
It was basically, it was probably more like this venue doesn't have a way to section off a part of the venue inside.
Right.
So we're gonna put it outside.
Okay.
Okay. So we're like, all right, we set up the cameras, and we're making our questions because we like to be really prepared, and so it kind of threw me off that it's like, oh, instead of tomorrow night, you're doing it like in an hour.
Right.
So we're writing our questions, we're getting it ready. We go to the room, and so this is what happens, and we have footage of this, so maybe we'll pepper in some footage during this. But we come out. There's really not really that much of an explanation. It's raining a little bit.
Yes.
When we start.
Okay.
It's raining outside, so we hear like
Yeah.
on the tent, right?
Yeah.
They're like, all right, go ahead, go up on stage and introduce.
Already romantic.
Already
Yeah,
romantic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We lit candles.
Yeah.
Rose petals, but it
Yeah.
was just like I did it to Chuck's seat. Chuck did it to my seat.
Right,
We ignored Kristy Swanson and Joey Lauren Adams entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to
That's fair.
romance each
No,
other.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys were like, why don't you ask us questions?
Yes.
You selfish jerks.
So they're not even out there yet.
Yeah.
And the organizers are like, all right, go up on stage and start the panel. And I'm like, we didn't even say hi to them yet.
Yeah.
So then, and we're kind of like, I'm kind of like being like, let's waste some time to
Yeah.
get them out here. And so they finally showed up, and they have like their coats up over their heads. It's raining, and I'm like, hey, we're going out right now. So we go out. We don't even get to say hi to them beforehand. And I'm like, hey, everybody. I think we had to kill time on stage for like 2 minutes.
We did kill time.
We made some jokes.
Yep.
There was how many people in the audience?
15.
And so it was a lot of chairs.
Yeah.
Probably like
Yeah.
150.
Yep.
And so we're like, okay. And that's the thing is
And that poor fuck that had to put out all those chairs was just looking like,
so so the thing is, because these are just starting out, like I'm
Yeah.
sure Rhode Island Comic Con started the same way, and then every year they grinded it out, and now it's insanely huge.
Right.
And so this is a similar thing. So we're like, okay, and we know that on these cons that are just starting out, we kind of have to be able to fill the whole time as opposed to just relying on questions, which you can do sometimes at bigger audiences. So we go on stage, we call them out. They come and sit down. There's less familiarity than we usually have because we usually talk to them beforehand. We joke around. We try to make them comfortable,
Right.
whatever.
yeah.
They come out. We start the panel. I thought that Brad said something that made Kristy Swanson mad, but I guess that was wrong. But to me, I felt like a little bit of tension. I felt it. But here's where it might have come in.
What if it was pointed at you?
No. Here's where it might have come in.
As all women do.
Because this eventually becomes a thing. I wonder if she could hear us.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what happens. We're on stage and we're talking to them, and the rain is getting harder. And so hard in the thing that we cannot hear each other talk. All four of us.
Speakers at the front of the stage facing outward.
No
monitors.
Which is fine usually.
Yeah.
Inside it wouldn't be a big deal,
Right,
especially if
right.
it's just a couple people talking. But we can barely hear each other. And so all of us on stage are playing we're pretending this isn't happening game. You're like, yeah, so how was it to start? And we're just like talking like louder.
Yeah.
And the rain is coming and it's just seeping under the tent.
Oh,
it's
God.
just like the water is coming in under the tent, and it's just storming. We hear the lightning crash and like the thunder. It was crazy.
Excuse me, hi. We're basically a bundle of wires right now, right? That would be my concern.
So I'm like, and we're doing it, and what happens is like we want to be cool, we're trying to be professional, and it's funny because it's like, to me, I think I come from a place of the show must go on.
Yes.
So like, to me, I'm just like, I'm not going to be the reason this gets pulled for whatever reason. You know what I mean? Like, if they tell me to pull it, I'm going to do it. So we're like, does anyone want to ask any questions? And this guy gets up who might have had some.
Excuse me, where's Honky Tonk, man?
This guy gets up. I see one of the organizers in the back look at me. He points at me and he goes like this. Like, let's have a honky tonk.
We're doing a rodeo. Yeah.
No,
Well,
it's like,
they're given the
wrap it up.
hand across the
And
throat.
you look over, you're like, a short rodeo man is coming.
Honky,
It's Honky Tonk Man.
Honky
Got
Tonk
it.
Man's coming.
Okay.
so
A little 5'4" guy comes out. Down there.
So we're like, and I'm like, all right, I gotta wrap this up. But we've already called this guy up.
Sure.
So
sure.
what would you do? Would you wait for this gentleman to finish his question
Yeah.
and for her to
Yeah,
answer,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then you say something?
Yep.
Go ahead, Brad. Take it away.
So he asked his question in a non-straight ahead. It's a meandering path to get to the question.
Okay. So,
but-
like a Funbearable episode?
Yes. Like how we open every Funbearable episode.
And then continue through it all the way to the close.
So he asked the question. Kristy Swanson can't hear it.
Okay.
He repeat, and she's like, "I'm sorry, could you speak up?"
And by the way, it took him like, I'd say over a minute to get the question out in the first place.
Okay. Do you know what the question was? Do you remember it?
We will, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's raining so hard, so
Yeah.
everyone is like
They're all
trying to hear him.
They're falling in love.
And,
Yes.
and then people in the back are like this. There's so much stress for us on stage.
Yeah.
Because the people in the back are like, wrap it up.
Yeah.
And this affected gentleman, very nice guy, but it's difficult for him to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
He's just going so long. And then Kristy Swanson, trying to be polite to him, is like, I'm so sorry. What is that? And it's taking so long.
So he repeats, and so she answers the question, kindly, professionally, does a good job. And he has a follow-up question.
Oh, no. There was a part of this, too. She basically was like, can you repeat yourself? I can't hear you. And he did it again.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I'm really sorry. I can't hear you. And he kind of yelled at her.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because, like, he was getting frustrated.
What did
like right on the, if the question was like, what's your favorite type of ice cream? She's like, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. He's like, what's your favorite type of ice cream? She's like, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. And so he's like, and I'm not going to do it into the mic.
Yeah.
What's your favorite type of ice cream? And he was like angry.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So
What was it?
the question
Mint
was
chip?
basically...
Mint chip? All right, yeah.
The question was basically, you starred in the first movie in this series, and then they recast you in the second, the sequel. Like, how did you feel about that? That's essentially what he asked. Which
Buffy?
is fine.
Was there a sequel to Buffy?
It was a different movie.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I apologize.
No, that's all right. But
There was a Big Daddy too?
so
Bigger Daddy.
Yeah.
Bigger Daddy.
Oh, wait, no, that's my
That's your
my only fan.
No, that's what it says on your trip itinerary for this weekend for your cruise.
Bigger Daddy.
It's my personalized
Thank
license
God.
plate.
I got upgraded to Bigger Daddy. Originally, they bought me a small pop seat.
a little honky tonk man seat.
What is this for? Who's this for?
So
You mind if I pick and grin for a little bit?
So we're like, okay, we got to wrap this up. We
Yeah.
got to go. And it's funny. You could see me and Brad like dealing with it on stage. And we are like, we know the situation we're in or
Yeah.
how funny it is. But as soon as he finishes, we're like, hey guys, we got to wrap it up. It's storming. It's raining. They said
The
there was
old
a
man
tornado.
is saying,
Yeah.
I'll say this. I'm like, there's lightning, something. And then the guy did this. And Chuck's like, yeah, it looks like there's a tornado. and so there was not a
It was
tornado.
funny 'cause
sighting.
Kristy Swanson's like, seriously? I'm like, that's what I heard.
We're getting a cutoff motion from everybody here. We have water coming in under the tent. There's a tornado coming. We're getting the tornado. I don't know. I think that's what he said. Attention, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologize for interrupting. For your safety and the safety of all of our guests here at Contropolis, Massachusetts, we are asking that you please leave the tent at this time, as we do have impending weather and lightning. We do not want anybody to get hurt, so at this time we ask that you please make your way back into the building. We apologize again, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your day here at Contropolis, Mass. Always a new story.
Just because of the wrap
Well,
it up
I said
thing.
there was I said there's been a tornado warning, is what I said.
Yeah.
Which he warned me and did a tornado look.
"Oh, I'm sorry. There seems to be there are reports of the fashion police
Yes.
being at the con.
They
I'm
would.
seeing the fashion police at the
I guess
con.
that is funny that he went like this. So I'm like, there's been a tornado warning.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
And everyone scampers out of this.
Yeah,
And
all 15, a
it's-
stampede.
We've got wires all over the floor. We later found out they were shielded appropriately or whatever.
Okay.
But,
Sure.
it's a metal frame
Yeah, yeah.
tent.
Yeah.
The thickness of 1/8
No,
of
it's
an inch.
it's deadly.
Yeah. And so we're like, all right, well, let's put the cameras on high ground because this is again, 40 minutes from now, I have my panel with Jake the Snake.
and
Yeah.
I have to get my courage up to ask my question.
To Jake the Snake.
To Jake
about
to think
me.
about Brad.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Sorry, I wasn't sure what
Yeah.
what thing you were talking about.
Yes, and so we put the cameras away, go back inside, talk to Joey Lauren Adams, talk to Kristy Swanson.
They were nice.
Yeah, they were very nice, and they're like, it's a story, it's something.
Yeah, they
interesting
were
that
like,
happened."
no, well, remember this. Like, this
Yeah.
is it's interesting.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
were,
yeah.
they were like, you guys had great questions, and like Kristy Swanson said to Brad, she's like, oh yeah, like you're like this question like was a real like thinker. I had to think about it, and I thought she was annoyed, but she wasn't annoyed.
She was just thinking.
He was just thinking.
Yeah. Chuck doesn't like his women to think. So
That's
Whoa. Anyway, we would have
Truth.
if Jen didn't think, we would be in this honky tonk Jake the Snake situation.
I looked it up.
we're all seeing if these wrestlers have real
Yes.
kayfabe feuds.
So we're like, all right, well, 40 minutes. I'm not sure if the rain is going to stop by then, but like, let's write out questions for Jake the Snake. And, we wander around a little bit, sit down, work on questions. They're like, Jake the Snake panel not happening. But then 3 hours after that is when Chuck's panel with SBF is scheduled.
yeah.
And so we're just like sitting there and kind of we know some
Jake
people
the
there.
Snake. That day, he just wanted to be Jake.
Yeah,
He was
right.
Like,
It's just
some
Jake
days
Roberts
I just want to be Jake.
From Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Yes. And so what happened was they eventually canceled all the panels.
Yeah.
And so we had to just go home. But the moment on stage of trying to run the panel and trying to shut it down
Yeah.
and the kid was so funny.
Yeah.
And the increasing sound of the rain making it so loud that we couldn't talk. It was almost like, how you go see like the play that goes wrong?
Sure,
And
sure.
you like that stuff? It almost was like, I was like, this is perfect for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The idea
yeah.
of doing something outside and the natural noise of the outside makes it impossible, but you're stuck on stage and you're already in the performance.
Yeah.
It was
And
hilarious.
you want to be professional, you want to power through it. And I'm like, man, the idea of like holes in the tent above us, but they're just dripping on us and
Sure,
we're
yeah.
soaking
just
wet.
down your shirt.
Yeah. I did a show, a corporate event
Yep.
for this mortgage company, and they saw somebody, like one of the owners of the company, had seen me at a comedy show, and they liked me, and they just kept hiring me for like this
Nice.
this 2-year period. Every couple of months, they'd be like, "We have another event. Will you do it?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Okay," And by the end, it became like they had like a board meeting kind of thing, and then they had me come. That was the last one I did, where
Right.
I'm like in a room with the execs,
Yeah.
with no mic, just standing at the end of
Wow.
the table, and I was like, I can't. And I thought they only wanted clean. It had been like I'm like, I've done all of my material for these people. But anyway, this one was some event they were doing with realtors. It was in a tent.
Oh, real estate con.
Yes. It started raining.
Yep.
I'm on the little stage space.
Yeah.
It's a mortgage company. They're not setting up a show. This was a corporate event, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm up there, and they have basically like a karaoke boombox machine, right? It's wild, and that cuts out. And I'm like, okay. And so I just did like 45 minutes of stand up with no microphone in the tent, with the rain getting louder and louder and louder on the tent. And like I ended with like I'm shouting on stage, and it was wild.
You
It
just
really
transitioned
was,
into Sam Kinison by the end of your set.
yeah.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I mean, you started as Dice Man, and ended as Sam Kinison.
It was more like a lateral move.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, but it was funny. And then actually, to be honest, we were so it was Brad went to Indiana recently, and there was another Contropolis in Jersey. And so I went back to New York last week to get ready for my panel, which I was going to do Sean Patrick Flannery to make up for
which
it.
you had already researched extensively.
Right. Sure.
Yeah.
At almost 1 a.m, the day of the panel, I got an email. He missed his flight. He's not coming.
Damn.
So 2 times SPF has avoided this pale band.
Son of a gun. You had a perfect question loaded for the rainy tent.
Yeah.
You were going to be like, in Suicide Kings, you made out with your girlfriend in the car when it was pouring rain. Would you like to do that again with me?
No, the rain is pouring, and I'm kind of a co-star on this panel.
Yeah, right.
I can sit on your lap.
I never saw Suicide Kings.
You never saw it? Oh,
No.
it was fun. It
I'd
was
love
good.
to see
It
it.
was
I,
good.
saw it. I definitely rented it from Blockbuster.
Yeah, I mean, I
at
haven't
some
seen
point.
it since I saw it, so
Right.
it's like 96, 95, 97,
Yeah.
somewhere in there. So maybe it doesn't hold up, but I enjoyed it. Christopher Walken.
There's a couple movies in that like time period, like Rounders. I never saw either.
Yeah,
So
yeah, Rounders was good.
Yeah, I just started a Letterboxd account, not to review movies, but because I want to keep track of movies that I'm like I want to see this.
Oh,
Right,
I
right.
do it for movies I have seen.
You know what I've been doing? This might not be great podcast stuff, but I've been looking back at every decade and looking back at the top movies from each decade
Sure,
and
yeah.
seeing which ones
Nice.
I've seen and which ones I haven't and adding them to
Where
my
did you
list.
start? 20s, 30s?
I started in the 50s.
in the 50s, yeah? That's a good
Just
choice.
because like it feels like I mean I
Yeah,
have
you could start with the 40s. Bro.
well what do you have in the 40s? Maltese Falcon.
It's mostly just USO shows.
Well, I'm down. I am because there's a movie called The Apartment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maltese Falcon.
Yep.
Citizen Kane. All that stuff. How
So
You
far,
haven't
I'm,
seen Citizen
I'm
Kane?
3 for 3 on that list.
Yeah. You
Well,
haven't seen Citizen Kane?
that's the thing is I
Feels
went
like
to
a must.
Well, I went to film school.
Yeah.
So there's some movies that you did watch in a classroom setting.
Right.
But don't you
That's
feel
different,
kind of
yeah.
like distanced from
absolutely,
it in a
yes.
weird way?
Here's a great example. I mentioned this before I went to Alaska. I didn't get a chance to watch it when I was in Alaska, but I watched it when I got home. Barry Lyndon,
Right.
Stanley Kubrick film. It's a period piece. It's an adaptation of a book, and it was. I watched it. It was 3 hours long.
Yeah, you said it was hilarious, right?
I watched it, and it's tough because I love what he did on the technical aspect.
Yeah.
Because he did a lot of natural light. That was
Right.
his whole thing. The shooting of the movie is incredibly naturalistic, and I love that.
Yeah.
The performances are extremely wooden, and there's not as much vibrancy that could happen there. And I think it's because it's the mid 70s that he was making this film.
Yeah.
What he did technically is amazing.
Yeah.
I wish that naturalism carried over, which I think now we get a lot of. Like, I think there's a direct line between Barry Lyndon and Yorgos Lanthimos doing The Favorite,
Right.
with a lot of natural light and stuff like that. But those performances are also like these really gritty kind of real performances that they're doing. That's really wonderful. So I was watching this movie the whole time going, I wish you could remake this
Yeah.
and do it with more. Like there's a scene, as an example, there's a scene where our hero gets in a fist fight. He just enlisted in the army, not really by choice, but he had to do it. And there's a bigger guy who kind of, messes with him. They get in a ring and they're fighting. And our hero just wipes the floor with the big guy. And there's like a little bit of blood on the guy's face. And then it cuts to the next scene. Everybody's fine.
Yeah.
because it's very 70s.
Yeah.
I want to see that scene, like have Barry Lyndon get the shit knocked out of him, but keep getting up and then beat the big guy. That's way more in line with what you're trying to do with the character.
Yeah.
Suddenly that fight tells you more about them.
Yeah.
And then when they cut to the next shot, have Barry Lyndon have a black eye and the guy next to him be beat to shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It's stuff like that. But nobody will ever remake Barry Lyndon because it is a Stanley Kubrick like masterpiece.
Right. Yeah, right.
Nobody will touch it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I'm
of
like,
course.
oh, listen, technically, amazing Stanley Kubrick,
Right.
incredible. Let's do a little more here.
Well, we were going to remake A Clockwork Orange, but update the dialogue to be like Fun Bear centric
Oh.
instead of.
Is that why you guys asked me what my suit size was?
Yes. And
Cane height?
Yeah, and eye height, I guess.
Yeah. Pupil
Yeah.
radius?
Yes.
Radii?
You should make a career out of only remaking Kubrick films. That would be a
Oh
pretty...
my god, it's a short career. I mean, you get a few down. But do you know what I mean? You ever see like a film
Well,
that's
yeah,
like
all right,
older?
all right. You have to do The Shining.
Yeah.
You have to do Barry Lyndon. You have to do The Moon Landing. You have to do
Right? JFK.
Eyes Wide Shut.
Did you see Indiana Jones yet?
No, I have not yet.
Okay.
I know I will.
I
but
wanna
no,
make a
like
joke.
it is an interesting thing when you see an older film that is this lauded thing, and you can recognize the amazing part, but you're still like, but there's aspects of this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it is unfortunate because I know Barry Lyndon, the Barry is in there, but I saw like Barry Cohn in the like in the role. Right.
Yeah.
How amazing that would be. Like, give this to Yorgos Lanthimos. Let him remake this.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think it would be incredible. Anyway.
Yeah.
So there's your mid review of Barry Lyndon from 1970 something Stanley Kubrick film is exactly what you tune in for on Funbearable. I'm sorry to
In the new
do that.
Indiana Jones, there is one moment, there's one line I wish they put in that would have been perfect. And I'll say it on the podcast after everyone's seen it. But it would be so perfect for a moment. And we'll talk about it when you've seen it. But
Is it? Does Indy say like I'm Harrison Ford or something like that?
no. It's
Oh, okay.
it's a situation he finds himself in and a thing he has to do that is hilarious for Indiana Jones, but no one ever really acknowledges how hilarious it is.
Oh, it's when he looks down the barrel of the camera and goes, "I belong in a museum." But I'm so sorry you had like such
Yeah.
an awkward
Oh,
experience there.
it was a story.
Yeah, why not?
I think about this all the time. I like the idea. If I look at a map of the East Coast, there's so many different places I've had so many funny experiences in.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, I think that's fun.
Yeah.
And it's almost like yes, it'd be nice to just do another panel and whatever. It's fine. But like the idea of having a kooky time like that is really fun.
Yeah.
And then also like so right afterwards we talked to them and they were nice. But then when we were leaving that day, I talked to Joey Lauren Adams again because she was outside. And I was like, oh, hey, what's up? I'm like, I work with Kevin once in a while, Kevin Smith. And she's like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, are you going to be doing cons? And she's like, I'm going to be at Rhode Island Comic Con. Are you going to be there? And I'm like, yeah, I am. And she's like, I'll see you at Rhode Island then. So hopefully
Hey, there
we'll
you
be
go.
able to redo it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
We're gonna like custom make umbrellas for the two of them with like a picture from the like
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice.
just a nice little memorial.
Yeah.
Which blonde are you?
It's me and Brad. Our faces are like wicked, like clear and good.
The two of
Yeah.
them are just blurred.
Yeah.
Well,
In fact,
this
it's
is
just the two of us.
this is a good transition. I'm going to
good.
attempt to transition.
Attempt.
Because you were talking to these two women.
Yes, we were.
And it was platonic. There's no situations or anything.
Right.
But sometimes you are talking to a woman and it isn't platonic, and you're trying to break that ice.
Yeah.
Right.
I've been there.
I did a show recently in Connecticut.
Connect.
The city.
Like a month ago, the city of Connecticut, yeah. And there was a little bookshelf over by like this was like a winery place, right? Like not a vineyard, but a winery.
Okay.
And they had like a fireplace and all the accoutrements.
Yes.
And in the bookshelf, I saw this book, this pink spine pointing back at me.
Brad has a pink spine.
He does have a pink spine. Good for you.
It's not.
It's jacked.
It's because of
janked.
it's because of all the coral I eat.
Oh shit! You're like a shrimp. They're like shrimp.
He has a
Flamingo.
spine made out of
Oh,
smoked,
flamingo, I'm so
smoked
sorry.
salmon.
Yes.
I
bad.
thought, well, maybe the no, because the flamingo gets it from the shrimp who get it from the coral. No, I'm kidding. But this is 1,001 great pickup lines.
Yes, I could use
Right.
1,001.
I suspect not all 1,001 are equally great.
Oh no,
that could be.
This is compiled from the Tanqueray Sterling Vodka Annual Survey. Okay,
That's my favorite.
This book looks like an ancient tome, and I will tell you when it came out after we go through this. So I saw this. I flipped through it while I was waiting to go on stage. Like
Right.
I was standing in the back on the opposite side of a wall,
Right. Yeah.
waiting to come through a door.
Yeah.
And I was flipping through, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And I brought it on stage.
Yes.
And I explained how I had found it, and just occasionally would open to a random page, read one. Everybody would laugh, and then I'd move on to the next
Nice.
thing. So I've gone through.
I
and
just like the idea that like the book next to it on the shelf was like 1,000 ways to tell your wife you love her, and Ray's like, no, I need the pickup line.
yeah. I'm going to use these on my wife.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
But I've dog-eared some pages. I found some that are just truly wonderful.
Oh,
Yeah.
So, this is of a different era, but in 2023, you're two single gentlemen.
Yes.
As a married man, let me give you some advice.
Oh,
thank
good.
you.
Our
Yes.
viewer listener that may be single as well. This isn't just for men. This is also for women. There are ones in here
For ladies.
that for the ladies.
Okay.
So here's a few fantastic pickup lines. Feel free, viewer listener, to use these pickup lines.
Yes.
Yeah, and then
However and whenever.
send us an email and let us know how it works. If they
If
let you
they let you
have
email.
access
Yeah,
to
yeah,
email and chat.
This one I think is great for Brad.
Thank you.
May I have the honor and privilege of sitting next to you?
That's not a pickup line. That's the whole thing.
That's it. Yeah. May I have the honor and privilege of sitting next to you?
That is less cringy than some things I know you've said.
That's true.
That's
that's a good point.
That is, you might as well detach your penis,
Yeah.
throw it over the back of throw it over your shoulder and go, won't be needing this for a while.
To be fair, that's also how Chuck makes me request to ride shotgun in his car.
May I
You would
have
say
the
something
honor
like that
and
to
privilege?
someone.
No, I wouldn't.
What's your
I might have
version of
said
that?
something like that in 8th grade.
What would you say now?
Is it
Hot
all right-
girl. You're a hot girl. You're going to.
Is anyone sitting here? Is it all right if I sit here?
Can I
All
have
right,
the honor and privilege of sitting next to you?
May I have the honor? No.
I?
Is anyone sitting here? Is it all right if I sit here? And then
Is it all right if I
make an
talk to you?
observation?
Can I talk to you with a slight sexual manner?
Oh, no. Okay. I'll dial it
No,
back.
all right.
You
Fine.
know what? I wish we could get us in situations where we're hitting on people,
No.
but
No.
we didn't. But and it's real, and we get to see what we would do. But it's not. But it's all staged, and someone is tricking us just to record us. Wouldn't that be interesting to think?
No, it would be
Let's
horrifying.
call Nathan and we'll get this rehearsal set up.
Yes.
Well, don't you think it'd be interesting to see what we would say? Like to be like, listen, Chuck and Brad, separate situations. They're both going to a concert. There's a really pretty girl. They're going to sit next to her and they're going to try to talk to her. What happens? That's interesting.
Here's the problem.
Brad doesn't talk to her. That's what happens.
I think the sad trombonist would pass out
yeah.
during that whole thing.
Yeah,
Like
because
Chuck
at the end of the
says
day, he's
something.
doing mariachi with me.
No, he's going right, and he's getting dizzy. So that's the first one. Let's get a little more direct.
Okay.
Excuse me, I think it's time we met. Gross.
Oh, you gotta say that.
Gross.
No, I don't like any of this.
It's cocky, but also wrong and weird,
Yes.
right?
Man.
How much Tanqueray has to be in my system before I start?
That's a good question. Yeah. How about this one? This one is I would recommend never say this ever to anybody.
Oh, okay.
Mind if I stare at you close up instead of from across the room?
Oh, you said that.
I didn't add the instead of across from her. I just say mind if I
if I
stare at
stare
you
at
from
you?
close up.
I'll stay here across the room.
Yes.
Their face.
You want to have you want to have a staring contest?
Man, what do you? This is so interesting. The idea of having to go from I'm meeting you, you're a nice lady, I want to say that I'm interested. What is the right way to do it? That's so fun.
These are like they're opening lines. It's a pickup line.
Yeah, to
It's the
approach
thing you
someone
say,
at
not in conversation, but to start.
You
the
haven't had to pick up someone in a long time.
I pick up people all the time.
No, the last time you had to like hit on a woman was how many years ago?
I mean, the joke in my set is like I've been with
Oh,
the same
Motorola.
woman since the Motorola Razr 2.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's-
the Razr 1.
Yeah.
Wow,
I didn't really have to do lines.
Well, you guys were close. You guys were friends.
Yeah, but before that, like with other
That's
women.
this is what I'm wondering.
I was
I'm like,
in college, so
I'm like-
it just sort of like it just happened.
Yeah.
you
nah,
know?
I guess
The
to me,
biggest pickup line was like, "Do you want to watch a movie?"
yeah,
in
you
my
don't
dorm
say
room?
because you don't really say like to me. Just this is my honest thing.
Yeah.
If I did see a woman that I met out in public, I think I would just treat her like a normal person.
I think that's
And-
the way
Right.
you should do that.
And
yeah.
you just
Yeah,
like,
you stare at them like you
just
do with a normal
talk-
person.
you just
drool.
talk to them.
You go, ha, ha, ha.
You
You
s-
have your eyes bug out, right?
you smash your head with a hammer.
a steam whistle pops
Tongue
out
rolls
one
out.
side. Yeah.
Oh,
Just like with a
wooga.
normal person.
No, but I think it really is for me. Like you just talk to this person, you see if you have the same like senses of humor and interest.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the night, when you part, you say like, "Hey, would you like to go out to dinner sometime?" And that's it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the closest thing
That's
to
normal.
a pickup line.
Yeah. Well, it's different these days.
Yeah, I guess
These-
it is.
Well,
this
I'm
is
not
like
a
you're at a
Tanqueray
bar.
guy.
This is like this
Yeah.
is like you're at a bar
And you're a
everyone's there.
scumbag.
Yeah. You're just like you want to approach a person that you don't know at all. Here's
Right.
your icebreaker.
Yeah. So
Okay.
let's go through some more of these. I dog-eared so many of these.
No
Dog
good.
ears.
We're going long on this episode just for these. Just for the help for our single listeners.
we're gonna hear
some
Brad's
viewers.
stories of rage. Brad's tales of rage are gonna.
We
close
might
the
need
show.
to move those to
I
part two.
prefer that. Yeah.
I saw your picture today in the dictionary next to the word beautiful.
That's not. That's
Why am
pretty
I?
typical.
Why am I reading the dictionary?
Right. It's just
What am I
bad,
looking
though.
up?
Yeah, it's bad.
It's just bad, right?
Yes.
But you do have to go like when you say it.
Yeah,
right?
You know what?
I don't have great eyebrow
I've been
control.
trying a new pickup line. Brad knows this.
Excuse me, I'm lost. Can you help me? Is that it?
Well, here this
I
is
have
like.
early onset dementia.
Let's say you don't have even time. You don't have. You're very busy. You don't want to even meet someone. You just want to say, "Hey, I'm interested. Let's do this." You just say, "Hey, what that ass do?"
Oh Jesus!
Brad has seen me text it to multiple
I
people.
have seen you text it.
But I think that's a perfect
It's a joke.
wrap up for you, like because like to do it,
Yeah.
you don't have the fucking courage
No.
to do it face to face. You will text it.
But for me, I'm doing it as a joke.
Yeah,
completely.
No, I know.
Solely.
I like the idea of texting it though because you're like, oh no.
You know, I tap someone on the shoulder and go,
Yeah.
check your phone.
Yeah, yeah. I go. It's like, so, what that? What's your ass doing? No,
I texted someone.
I'm sorry. I gotta go.
I texted someone the mind if I stare at you from up close instead of across the room. How did you get this number?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I read it on your phone.
I know that you guys would not let me do this, but it would be really fun to play like a game where the stakes are we get to take each other's phones and text people these
Oh.
these
No.
messages.
No, that's a
Zero.
bad idea.
Yeah.
That's
it.
funny though.
I don't like shit that you text that involves me. Period. Right? You do it on your own phone, and sometimes I'll get mad at you.
Even if it's like, what time are we recording tomorrow?
Right,
Like,
right.
"Oh,
Like, leave me
whoa."
out of this. Yeah. How about this one? This one just straight up crosses the line. I never knew dollies came full grown. Every part of that is disgusting.
Yeah.
I never
Hold
knew
on.
dolly. No,
Hold on.
don't
let me,
do it. Don't
you didn't
devil's
you didn't
ad.
read it right. This might be for someone who's dressed like a Tibetan monk, and it has to do with the llama, and it could be that. How's it spelled?
DOLLIES.
They don't know how to spell it. They don't know how.
This one, I don't know how this would work on anybody. Do you like chunky or smooth peanut butter?
Is that about?
That to me,
Our
that's
chunky
that's
bodies
an,
or our
that's an
smooth
important
ones?
question.
No, I think it's just like to get you started. Like,
Oh, it's just like an icebreaker.
yeah, so she would say like, I like chunky, and you'd be like, you'd neg her. You'd be like, oh, chunky, that's gross. Come on, I'm a smooth peanut butter guy all the way. You know, like you gotta get those crunchies in there, and then you're having like a playful debate with them,
I guess.
I guess, and then you hit them with the dolly's full grown.
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So, do you like chunky or smooth peanut butter?
Chunky, all natural.
Oh, all right. Let me just write that down in my spreadsheet. Thank you.
yeah.
That's how
door.
Brad does it. Yeah.
No, she says chunky, all natural, and then I slide in. Hi, how you doing?
Ooh, we should come up with.
I'm chunky and all natural.
You know what we could do? I wish I did this. we could come up with specific pickup lines for Brad
No,
and
we-
bring him to the podcast.
That feels-
Just impractical jokes.
That feels insulting.
Yeah, it does feel insulting. Or you could say, Brad,
Oh, okay, good.
you want a lobster dinner?
That's it.
That's
Jesus.
it. That's it. That works with women and street urchins.
Also with Chuck
Excuse me,
Staten.
my boy. Would you like a lobster dinner?
And sea
oh,
urchins.
boy,
Yes.
do I.
Street urchins and sea urchins.
Urchins of all kinds.
Well, here I got one for Brad. I was making a spreadsheet about every night I left my apartment in 2023. Care to make tonight a special one? That'd be like a.
How am I texting someone that?
You're actually holding up the spreadsheet to show them you're not lying.
How about, I do a lot of spreadsheets, but I don't often spread my sheets.
What does that
I
mean?
do a lot of spread.
Would you like to spread in my sheets?
Okay, that's
I was hoping he'd go with spreading his cheeks, but I don't know. I was like, this is weird, but
How about this one? This one's just aggressive, right?
Okay.
And I think you can only say this one the way I'm going to say it. I'm not asking you to marry me. I'm just asking for a dance.
I think if you say that, and that's legitimately the first thing you say to
Yeah,
someone,
you're like, what the fuck? What did this guy do?
You didn't ask for anything.
This one is horrifying.
Okay.
One way or the other, I'm going to have you tonight. You might as well be there.
Oh.
Oh, is that means like I'm gonna jack off thinking about you?
Yeah, I like, dude. Your head just moved in a cyborg figuring something out way. You went like your Data on Star Trek, and it's just like da da da. Does that mean they're going to pleasure themselves thinking about that person?
I didn't know what he meant.
Yeah, that's what it means. One way or the other, I'm going to have you tonight. First off, that will get you maced.
Yeah, yeah.
Rightfully
As
so.
it should.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'd kick them while they're on the ground. And then you might as well be there. That's. Hey, look, I'm a fucking pervert.
I know.
You can either come with me, or I'm gonna think about you.
You know,
Yeah.
I gotta say something. I will say this, and this is a
devil's
little,
adding.
This is a little hairy.
Oh, okay. Is that one of your pickup lines?
Listen, you're not gonna like it. It's a little hairy.
A little hairy. You might as well be there. Then.
No, I've realized in real life when I'm actually like hitting on people, and I have in the past, I think I'm pretty purposely inoffensive and very like I don't want to be a creep. It's almost like you have like this sense that other guys have been creeps to anyone you talk to.
Yeah. Of course.
And you're almost like I got to be careful because of what people have previously gone through just to not fall into that category.
Yeah.
And I think that at least twice, I think people have thought that I was like too
Neutral.
like what's the word I'm looking for?
Reserved?
Yeah, reserved or conservative or something in
Yeah,
terms of
yeah.
sexual stuff.
Brad-esque?
Because I don't. I'm very like I'm not gonna be aggressive at all.
Yeah.
So I think that people have been like, oh, like what's up with this
Until
guy?
they get to your place. Then the aggression starts. Then the deadbolt happens.
Yep.
Then the whole
You told me
you can't
you've
leave.
never played Mario Kart before.
Yeah.
I haven't. No,
I'm
but
gonna
seriously,
split your banana.
I think that twice, two different people have been kind of like, okay, like I don't know what your deal is, like, and they've kind of been
That
like,
happened with us.
Yeah, but
I friend zoned you so fast.
I really think that.
yeah, but there's
that
still
can happen.
benefits.
It is tough though because
Everyone's
it's
different.
2023. It's weird. We're aware of a lot of things.
Yep.
Everyone's different too. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So it's like this is probably appropriate behavior for 95% of people, but that means you're going to run into 5% who are like, what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How about this one? This is a good Brad line.
Oh, good.
When you need a hug or just someone to talk to, I'll be there.
That is a Brad
That
line.
is something I've said.
That's
that-
two that you've said.
Yeah,
You
that's-
said a privilege and honor.
I didn't say a privilege and honor.
You said something
line,
like
though,
that one time.
That line is so like, hey, I'll give you a ride to the airport and you never have to fuck me.
yeah.
Right? Like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what that is.
That is.
He has also said that.
Yeah. That was a quote. That's
you can call me or
Brad.
text me
That's his-
anytime.
that's
I'll
his-
be there. I'll pick you up if you're in a
That's
dangerous situation.
The
Yeah.
title of his dating advice book.
I'll give you and your boyfriend a ride to the airport.
Oh. He has some specific stories
I
about
do
that.
have some specific stories about
Maybe
that.
you could get a little more confident.
Oh, good.
And say something like, I'm not picking you up. I picked you out.
Okay, I mean, I guess
Ooh, we should
yucky.
start. I'll start.
She'd say you can end it after the word up.
Yeah.
How about this?
Oh, are you writing down the ones that you
No,
like?
I'm thinking maybe I'll text some of these to some women I know and see how they respond.
Oh, Jesus.
Would that be fun?
Maybe.
You're aiding and abetting. I say no.
Oh, no. I'm simply narrating a book.
All right. What's your
what
next
other
one?
people do are their own problem.
What's your next one?
Excuse me, you have a sensuous overbite.
No, it's not.
Yep. Hit him with that. Excuse me, you have a sensuous overbite.
That's the kindest neg you can think of.
Yeah.
You know what though? That's not really a pickup line because like then you got to do other stuff. Because I was gonna text this to someone, but then they'd be like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah.
So let's keep going.
Okay.
I'll find a good one.
Hey, why is my phone buzzing?
Kiss me hard enough and maybe I'll stop looking like a frog.
All right, I guess that works for Chuck.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard enough is really a weird way to describe how you kiss someone.
Yeah. Well, I've met people. My neck hurts. I'm not a bad guy, but I'm probably one of the baddest good guys you'll ever meet.
Oh, there we go. That's me.
And then you lean in and go, no, I'm one of the goodest good guys you'll ever meet.
I had a tweet several years ago, and it was I ran through 3 yellow lights on the way to work today. Ladies who love bad boys, your move.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
I like
fun.
that.
That's
I like
good.
that.
All right, keep going. I want to find one.
You make me want to tell the truth.
That's so dumb.
See, some of these
as a pickup
I gotta be
line.
honest. Some of these are confounding. Is the best way to describe
Ooh,
how
I
I'm
thought you
responding.
said something else. How about this?
Fountaining.
You slide up to a lady,
Okay.
right, at the pool hall.
Ooh, all right. We're playing some snooker.
Yeah. Your dad just left you there and you're trying to have a good time on this vacation. So you're playing pool, but your pool cue accidentally slips between a lady's legs.
Whoa.
Wait, no, that's just the great outdoors.
Yeah.
Sorry. One of my first confused erections.
Yeah.
If sexy were a crime, you'd be on death row. Maybe don't
That
add
sounds
in like
threatening.
you will die. Yeah, exactly.
Like
You're
be,
so beautiful, I'm going
I'd
to kill you.
I'd be arresting you.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
that,
that's better.
That seems, but like the death row thing.
Close to that.
Okay.
Close to the arresting.
Good.
This takes your advice.
Okay.
And then runs the other direction.
Oh no.
You're so beautiful. If my eyes were hands, I'd be arrested.
Also, like the
What
idea
does
of
that mean? 'Cause
eyes.
he's looking at your boobs and he's gonna squeeze them.
He's looking all over your body in a way that would be criminal if it was physical contact.
That's
what he's saying.
That's Guillermo del Toro's line.
yeah.
If my eyes were hands.
You could be that guy.
Thank you.
I think he'd make a great Pinocchio.
You know what's frustrating is that Chuck's seduction technique is basically like, let me tell you how weird my friend Brad is.
I do
and
a lot of that.
every woman goes for it.
Yeah.
And it's not because they like Chuck. It's because I sound so bad that they're like, I better sleep with Chuck so that Brad doesn't get me.
Want to hear my actual thoughts? They think Brad is so interesting that they're like, I guess I'll pay the toll to meet the troll. If you know what I mean.
Wait, am I the troll or are you the troll? Which
You're the
one's
troll.
What?
I'm the toll.
Okay.
It was perfect time. I think it's more an idea of like some men will use like a cute puppy or a friend's baby.
Yeah, but I'm like the weird puppy.
No,
or
but
baby.
You're
but
the friend's
like,
baby.
No, but like Chuck looks good because it's like, wow, he really takes good care of that guy. You know?
He's like, today Brad
He
and I
has
went to the
paternal
arcade.
instinct.
You know what? I'm really
Yeah.
lucky that little guy has this guy.
Yeah, exactly. I know who rescued who.
He rescued
All right, here we go.
Fuck you, I rescued myself.
Ready for this one?
Yeah.
I don't understand why people would say these. Let's go back to my room and do the things I'm going to tell my friends we did anyhow. It's like, hey, I'm going to ruin your reputation anyway.
I know you haven't.
Might as well let me.
I know you
come
haven't
in
told
you,
us
right?
when the book was written, but I hope it was written a long time ago.
I'm thinking-
but I fear that it wasn't.
April 2021.
Yes.
Arrest me. What I'm thinking is criminal, and there's an exclamation point. So I feel like you have to run up like the guy in that infomercial that wears the suit with all the question marks.
Yeah.
Like he's like the Riddler of saving you money.
Yeah.
The government's throwing away money, right?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
guy. I feel like you have to run up like that with the same energy and go, arrest me. What I'm thinking is criminal, right? And then like look at their crotch and their tits. Just
I hate it.
arrest me.
One small, I love the idea of them getting notes from the person that's actually publishing the book. That's like, can we take out all the references to your sexual interest being criminal? So far, there's 2, and
Or
I'm 1/3 of the way
implying
in.
death upon me.
Yeah.
This one, I don't know. I don't understand
Sorry,
this one.
if we do that, it's just a brochure.
Imagine hearing this
Okay.
as a woman. If I could be a girl for one day, I'd want to look just like you.
Okay.
I don't think that.
I think these are interesting.
I think that elicits a thanks. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
It's so bizarre. I don't understand these pickup lines. I'd like to pick you up, but I don't think I can.
There we go.
That's a bad one.
That's a bad
Oh,
one.
see, I took it as a neg.
No.
I took it as a husky gal.
We took it as a confidence bump.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like your version.
Yeah.
I like your version. You could maybe talk about your spine,
Yep.
Yeah.
It's made of smoked
the
salmon.
pain in your shoulder.
Yeah.
Oh God, you were probably a beautiful baby. What? Why would you like? Excuse me. I just had to say, I saw you across the room, and I just had to say, you were probably a beautiful baby.
Just super sexy.
Yeah.
I'd
Just
like-
the sexiest baby ever.
And as soon as you say it, you just immediately go. Like waiting for the kiss.
You know what would be interesting? I mean, you're married, but it would be interesting if the 3 of us had to go out to a bar. We all had 3 copies of this. The first person to actually get a number with opening with one of these lines. That would be a pretty interesting
It's going to be
thing.
Ray. He's more confident than both of us put together.
I know who it's going to be. I'm not going to say. But you can't. But the rules
Ray.
would be you can't say I'm doing this for a book. You can't mention the reason we're doing it.
Sure.
You have to just legitimately use
Yeah.
the line to
Yeah,
open.
yeah.
I think that'd be fun.
I feel like all 3 of us walk out of that bar
Or are
With-
tossed out.
with comically horrendous women. Right? Our arms around them. And it's just like, where we going? You want to go over there? All right, fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
one girl's like, hold on, I got to piss. And just squats and pees right there. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's that
there's
kind of thing.
definitely some sort of oxy involved.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I got to tell you, I was. This is a little side thing, but I thought about you because I directed the Live Tuesdays at the Gramercy recently.
Yeah.
And it was Mark Norman Jolis, Dan Soder, Giannis Pappas, and Karen Fian. And they talked to Giannis Pappas about this character that he used to do. I don't know if he still does it, Marisa. And like, I don't really know that much about it. I remember seeing like little videos online or something like that. And he started talking about how he did this impression of these different women that he met in his life. And one of the impressions he did was so funny, and it was just the rhythm of what he was saying. And I don't know if this is like my recent thing with like Dana Carvey and getting into how to do impressions.
Yeah.
But I was like, that is such a funny hook. And the hook was that he said he knew a woman who, the way that she talked, she would basically be like, oh yeah, my daughter's doing this. I gotta get out of here. And he kept doing, I gotta get out of here. And like,
Yeah.
that is a super funny way to say that, and a super funny, like, rhythmic thing to keep flipping around as a regular person.
Yeah.
The I gotta get out of here
Yeah.
like that is so fucking
Oh no!
funny.
If we did that game, Brad leaves there with a woman who now is like in charge of him. You know what I mean?
Before we leave the bar,
Yeah.
she's in charge of me.
Yeah, he's like, I want to go home, and then she goes, come on, Chad, we're going, right? And you're like, I gotta go.
Years ago, we were like, Brad's gonna end up with an extremely, extremely overbearing Latina wife that tells him what to do
I don't
every
think
second
she'll
of
be
every day.
Latina.
Really?
No, I think she'll be an overbearing white woman,
Like a Karen?
for sure. Very much so. I think maybe, perhaps.
Yeah.
And
Perhaps.
Brad's a Brad.
I mean, the joke is, I'm not going to tell the waiter I didn't order mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
That's true.
She's gonna do it, and then look at you and go like that.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah. By the way, I'm feeling great right now. Thanks
sorry.
for all this.
I'm sorry. Maybe you could try this.
We've
Okay.
all ended up with overbearing women at different points in our time.
Maybe you could try this.
Okay.
I've liked everybody that I've been with, and no problems. So ended everything friends except for one. Except for one.
Well, it was funny. I was actually telling someone about my ex-girlfriend Alyssa recently, and we were talking about why we broke up. And there's some like funny little things that she said that were really odd. And the person I was talking to was like, "Was she like kind of mean and like angsty?" And I'm like, "Yes." Remember when we were like leaving that concert and there was that bus full of kids and we almost had to fight them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was crazy.
By the way, if you're hearing a sound right now,
Yeah.
it's because Chuck left his blow dryer on in the back room, and it's kind of just flying everywhere.
Yeah.
I just like that
in the
we
bathroom.
recorded yesterday and today, and somehow there's work being done
There's
in the yard.
fucking landscapers both days.
Both
yeah.
days.
Well, your dad owns a landscaping company, and you're just like, Daddy, can I have fresh lawn? Right? And he's like, okay, I'll send my workers over.
I'll say
Make sure you treat them like shit, though. Thanks, Daddy.
Chuck.
Daddy, can I have fresh lawn? I want new lawn, Daddy.
I didn't even ask him.
Daddy, Chucky wants mulch, Daddy.
Chuck has a pickup line that goes with that, where it's my dad owns a landscaping company, so what that bush do?
There you go, Brad.
I heard it's I've got a lot of roses in my back garden, but I could use some tulips, right? And then he goes like this, and then there's an immigrant gentleman behind him with a leaf blower.
Yeah.
Daddy, I want fresh lawn. That's so funny to me. That is so funny. Oh man, Daddy, I don't like the green color. I want a different shade of green,
Can you do
Daddy.
pink?
Wait, I want a darker green, Daddy. Brad's backyard has a darker green, Daddy. I don't like this one. Can you put in new grass, Daddy? Let's get back to these pickup lines before we go here. You ready for this one, Brad?
Barely.
Here's one for you.
Thank
I
you.
want you to lock eyes with the victim. I want you to lock eyes with this woman and say, "Where did you get that nice mouth?"
All right, I'm going to text someone that.
Where did you get? That's not even a pickup line. Also, if you're texting women you know already, that doesn't. No, I have the one that you have to text.
Okay.
I have the one.
I'll say this: if you were at a Dr. Frankenstein convention and you asked somebody, "Where did you get that nice
Sure.
mouth?" Appropriate.
Yeah.
At the local pub.
Yeah. If you're talking to Colleen Havers, I think is her name. She did that horrible character that was huge on YouTube, and then she had a Netflix show for a minute, and now she's been called out for like grooming, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Miranda sings.
Miranda sings, and her whole thing was just having lipstick all around her mouth and doing the most basic shit jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And it was like, what are we doing? She comes from an era. We should have done this on a different episode. She comes from an era of YouTube when it was exploding, when there is like this group that is no longer really there that did just the worst fucking comedy.
Yes.
You don't think that has changed into like the TikTok comedy stuff?
I think it's gravitated there, but I do think it's more elevated than it was then. I think there was an aspect of just, I'm doing this and I'm one of the first. So you get like a Miranda Sings
Right.
Yeah.
doing, like people were tweeting out like she did a Gangnam Style parody because everybody did a Gangnam Style parody, and hers was literally just like, she's got the fucking lipstick on and she's doing an Asian like accent and voice and saying gibberish, and it's like, this is just shit racism.
Yeah.
Like, this sucks. And like 14-year-old kids are like, ha, I love Miranda Sings.
Yeah.
So
You know?
it's funny because like I don't really know about Miranda Sings at all.
Yeah.
I just remember that I was like, I knew about what she did, and then Seinfeld had her on Comedians in Cars,
yeah.
right? And I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, is this person like legit? And I've never watched it. I watched her stuff. So I saw all the grooming stuff come out last weekend, and it's like
Weird that Seinfeld would be okay with a groomer.
Right.
comedian.
Yeah.
So the groom, I do think some of it seems a little bit like overblown.
Yeah.
A lot of it. But then, do you know what happened this week? They
Her
unearthed
apology?
a blackface video of her.
Oh yeah.
Do you know
of
about
course.
that?
I did
Yeah.
not.
It's also not hard to find offensive material from these like
I know, of course,
20 teens, like early 20 teens, late aughts.
Well,
people.
someone that we actually all really like a lot kind of came from this and just kind of like grew up and matured, and that's Bo Burnham.
Right.
And he kind of came from a similar era.
He did, but he never went in that direction.
Right. But he pokes fun at it in his special.
And I think it's interesting too. Like, I guess my point is that, like, you have like a Miranda Sings and the other things that were like popping off on YouTube at that time.
Yeah.
You know how I said like it was just this terrible thing of just like we're going to be like awful and stuff. I think it's a version of there was a weird entertainment stripe in YouTube world that was people slightly older than the tweens they were performing for being intentionally like caricatures of shitty tweens.
Okay.
Miranda Sings is that kid that did the character where he just sped it up a little bit. And so everything was like
Fred? Was it
yeah,
Fred?
Fred.
Oh, yeah, Fred, yeah.
It's like he's just being like
I also have never watched that. I don't even know what that
an
is.
overly like childish, petulant kid like having a temper tantrum.
That thing, I think that still exists where it's like, it's kind of like this ultimate, what's the word you're looking for when you're like doing something super big and super cheesy on purpose and you're doing that.
Spectacle.
There's actually two people we watched.
Crime against humanity.
We watched a video of theirs recently, and it was two brothers who I guess have this huge, remember the swimming pool?
Yes, I do.
And all this stuff, and they had like gel blasters, whatever. But that's like a thing on YouTube. I think that a lot of younger people kind of gravitate towards. Mark Maron talked about it on one of his podcasts, and how this is a long time ago, about how celebrity was kind of getting split, and there's like people who actually make things that are really good, which is the traditional version, and then there's a version of kids or younger people saying, I see myself in this person who has a lot of views, and it's not really, it's almost more like they're famous, so they're famous.
Yeah.
As opposed to I did a thing.
But there is this avenue there. There is this genre.
Yeah.
That is just like I'm loud and shitty.
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
And like it overlapped with Vine.
We call it the Brad zone.
it overlapped in the Vine.
You're like the opposite
era,
of loud and shitty.
where it was like people like if you
Quiet
yell,
and shitty.
if you wear a wig and go around public and just say like sometimes I just don't care or something like that, it's like this is great.
I gotta get out of here.
Like Miranda Sings' whole thing was just like I'm shitty.
Like overacting.
That's it.
Overacting, essentially, is what it is.
It's so strange, but I wish nothing but the worst for all of them.
One quick thing I want to say real quick. I think because I just think this is interesting, and I know this will be a couple weeks old when this comes out. So did you hear about the Roseanne thing this week?
I heard a little bit about it.
I heard nothing.
It's so bizarre. So she was on Theo Vaughn's podcast, which is like a very big podcast, and she talked about like all the stuff that she has gone through, right? And Roseanne is Jewish, and she made comments about like, oh, like they treat anything you say like it's real. And she went like the Holocaust didn't happen, and 6 million people.
She was using it as an exaggerated
Example
and
of,
then they cut that clip, and they were like, "Hey, Roseanne said all of this stuff,"
and they're making it seem like she really feels it. But like when you actually watch the clip, it's so clear that she's not.
Yeah, it's very disingenuous.
It's extremely disingenuous. YouTube took it down because of the complaints, because of hate speech. So he put it on Twitter. Because I guess you can just post as long of a video as you want on Twitter.
Yeah. Right. And then Elon saw the flag that it said Nazi in it, and he was like, yeah,
promote it.
For sure.
Well, so guess how many views it got on Twitter? This is like a long podcast.
7. Wow.
What do you really think?
7 million.
3.8 million.
7 million.
Wow.
Is that what you think?
Yeah.
Like what do you think? I think the biggest podcasts probably get maybe a couple million listeners a week, maybe.
This is different though. This is because it's like this big thing going on at that moment. There's scandaliness to it, right?
All right, so you say 7 million?
Sure. 700 million.
70 million views.
Damn, I should have went with tens instead of hundos.
In 1 week.
Yeah.
Isn't that I was like, that's fucking insane.
Yeah.
But it was just such a crazy situation where it's like, the Roseanne thing is already weird.
Yeah.
Like, I think that what she said was shitty when she got her show taken away. Mm-hmm. I think that blaming it on Ambien is weird. Mm-hmm. I don't know about how I feel about using someone's work to create more money for other people that doesn't go to the person that created it.
Sure.
But this thing is like outrageously.
Well, I think it was messed up that Theo Vaughn put that out, and then later on, John Popper put another one out.
Yeah.
But he like sang under it,
Right.
and I was like, "This is weird." I liked it better when John Popper wasn't singing.
What's interesting though is the only other
We're
case.
gonna last longer than that great wall of China, and I'm like, "Oh God, this is Roseanne."
Yeah.
So the other case of disingenuous kind of stuff like this was the James Gunn one. When James Gunn had made the tweet.
Oh yeah, no, that's them using the cancel machine.
Yes.
like pointing it at other people.
A person
and
they
they
don't
talked
like.
about it. They bragged about how
Yes.
like that's intentionally what they did.
So what happened with the Roseanne thing? Like did someone actually think this was real, or were they doing it to take
someone, and it could have been just one fucking person.
it? Yeah.
Cut that clip to make it look that way, and it's so once you pull that out and go look what she said, and you don't think about it, which most people don't.
Yeah.
Immediately that's going to get traction. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
one of those videos where it's like, holy shit, I can't believe she said it.
Yeah.
Tweet.
You know what else I bet helps? The fact that Kanye West actually said such a crazy thing earlier this year makes it believable.
It's all muddy
I guess
waters.
that's true.
You know what I mean? And I don't
Yeah.
mean that as the artist.
Musician,
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
So this is what you're going to text to a gal you know.
Okay.
Are you ready?
A
Yeah.
gal
That's where
you
we
know,
left things off.
Gal Gadot.
And then there's just a few more horrible things to say to strangers.
Perfect.
And then we'll all think about it.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
You have to agree now. This is what you're going to text.
I will text this.
Okay. It's in the book. I'm not making it up. It was
Okay.
literally the next one that I picked. This is what you're texting.
Okay.
You remind me of my mother.
That's not funny though.
Oh, it's very funny. I think Brad and I will very much enjoy that.
What's tough though is I know that whoever I text this to, they're just gonna look at
They're
their
going to know
last.
that you're goofing.
Well, they're gonna look at the last text they sent and be like, "Oh, because of this."
Right.
Yeah.
It's just so
All right.
lacking.
It has to be a first text, I think.
Yeah.
I think, or it has to be something that is like I'm interested.
This
in here.
one's good. This
Okay.
one's good. Maybe you could use this in sexting
okay.
Ooh, all right.
or phone sex.
Yeah,
Telesex.
a lot of that
Yeah.
going on.
Telesex, text sex,
Yeah.
Carrier pigeons.
sex. Yeah. Ooh, here comes another one. That wasn't the bird. You ready? Pass the bread. Here comes the bologna.
What does that mean?
It
What's
doesn't
the
mean
bread?
anything. Yeah. I
I'm
don't
guessing
think,
what the baloney is.
I don't think you're gonna find a
Yeah.
textable thing here because you already know the people.
Maybe you're right.
Yeah. So if you don't want to say pass the bread, here comes the bologna. Maybe you can say this. Oh, this is tipping a hand to when this was printed.
Good. I hope it's a reference to President Lyndon B. Johnson.
Would you like to see my Desert Storm medals?
Oh no! That is
The idea that anyone can use that is the funniest part of that.
that is after President Lyndon B. Johnson.
yeah.
That is hilarious.
That's Bill Clinton saying that.
Yes.
You want to see my Desert Storm medals?
Did you give them out? Well, not all of them.
But I sometimes give out. Do you put out?
I receive more often.
I receive more than one. Go ahead.
I receive more often than I do not. Okay.
Let's do another one.
This one, oh God. Hey, come back here. I'm not done looking at you yet.
Oh,
That gets you arrested.
You know what we should do?
Hey, come back here. I'm not done looking at you yet.
I'm not kidding. We should take the shortest ones and we should make our own candy hearts this Valentine's Day. That would be so funny.
That would be very funny. Yeah.
That
I
would
like
be
that.
cool.
I like that. You ready? Weren't you in the incubator next to me in 1966?
What does that mean? 1966?
I don't get it.
is the goal to confuse these women?
Right? Oh, wait a minute. 1,001 great pickup lines to find out if a lady is a robot. Aha.
Does not.
Yeah, weren't you in the incubator next to me in 1966? No, I wasn't manufactured until. Oops, I mean. You ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
You have the most beautiful feet. I don't think you can say it.
That could be a good heart one.
I don't think you could say that one. I will say this. I remember there was a friend group I had in college, and in that friend group, there were a few ladies, a few gentlemen, all that stuff, and there were like maybe one or two couple things happening in there. And we didn't find out until years later that one of the people in the friend group had asked one of the ladies in the friend group who was in a relationship with a gentleman there
Okay.
if she would send him pictures of her feet.
Okay.
And it boggled my mind when that information was revealed like years later.
Right.
And I was just like, what? And I'm thinking back to like every interaction ever. You know what I mean? And wouldn't that be a reveal in your friend group?
Oh, yeah.
It's weird because I wonder is it more sexual than being like, oh, I'm interested in you and I want to kiss you and whatever, or is it less sexual than that?
I think it's more sexual, but not even. It's more sexual in a weirder way. I think,
agree.
Because it's so specific.
Oh, yeah.
And you're literally saying, "Send that to me. That's what I like.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I want yours."
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
That would be weird for anything. Feet, hands, ears.
Right.
Send me a picture of your earlobes. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is.
I always wonder about like the reality of you know how there's a lot of jokes that are like, oh, like I guess I could just put my feet on OnlyFans. I could
Yeah.
Like if there was a price on the table for you to actually have a foot OnlyFans, would you just do it? You'd have to, right?
Depends on the price.
What if you made $5,000 a month?
Sure. $5,000 a month because listen, everybody needs a side hustle, right? Like that. It depends
what
on the
I'm talking
hours put in because that I don't have to do anything sexual.
Right.
I just have to post some pictures of feet every once in a while.
What
Who cares?
if you have a guy?
Okay.
He takes care of most of it.
Yeah.
All you do is take your own pictures. So basically,
Are you applying for the job?
it's 1 hour a week that you got to put into
Oh
it.
fucking hell yes. Hell yeah. Thank you for this opportunity.
Well, this is what I mean. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not saying that people are not putting any work into this, but I think that some people could make some money doing this stuff that's not really sexual. It's not really humiliating. You're not really exposing your identity.
Are we talking Brad into something right now?
You are not.
I think it would be really. I think it would just be selfish not to do that.
If
If,
we took
two of your friends are saying they'll do the admin,
If we took pictures of Brad's feet and put them on OnlyFans, you'd find out the only people looking at it are medical researchers.
wow, we got a lot of hits this month.
Oh, it's podiatry convention.
Who's your biggest fan? Oh, Dr. Scholl's.
We were talking about that live Tuesdays. I was watching an interview with Karen Feehan, who was on it. She's a comic. She's very, very funny. And then someone asked her, how much do you make from OnlyFans? Because she has an OnlyFans. 20 to 40 grand a month.
Good for you.
Yep.
Good for you. Save it. Save it. There's a ticking clock for anybody that's doing that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
I was
no
just
offense
shocked.
to anybody. I mean,
was
men and
shocked.
women. There's a ticking clock. there.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah, my feet are not getting younger.
That's true.
They really aren't. They actually look like they are. I got a Benjamin Button thing going on.
Just for the feet, though.
It's very hard to balance.
Yeah.
I'd love to be the seam on your pants.
Ew. Which one?
Yeah, that's true.
In or outer?
The outside?
Yeah.
Cuff.
I really
All
like.
about style.
I really like the ankle bone.
How about this? I lean over.
Okay.
All right. You're at a bar. I lean over as a woman.
Okay.
I'm Sheila,
Yes.
the movie slut.
Yeah.
I know who you are.
Just got out of a movie.
Yeah.
I just got out of a movie, walked into the bar.
Yeah.
Having a drink after that movie to really think about how it was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That movie was okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Leans over and goes, just because I'm on a diet doesn't mean I can't look at the menu.
Hold on. What is that saying about the guy? Is the guy married? Or is the guy like, I'm refraining from sex?
I don't know.
Is it a monk saying it?
Right, yeah. Or is he fat?
Yeah.
He actually is on
It's
a diet.
me. It's,
Yeah.
I'm fat. And I'm like,
Yeah.
just because I'm on a diet doesn't mean I can't.
I thought all of it
Look
was
at
a
the
metaphor.
menu.
And
Maybe I'm
she
wrong.
passes you the menu, and you're
Thank
like,
you so
"Thank
much."
you." Oh, jalapeno poppers! I miss them so much.
This
I
one,
can just
this
imagine
one's
tasting-
amazing, truly amazing, and it feels like if you got an Amish gentleman to go into a bar and hit on a woman as some sort of elaborate prank. I could hear you saying this. No offense, not in a sexual way, but it's just like that
Me
kind of
too.
vibe.
Oh,
to
for
it,
sure.
right?
I can already hear it.
You know, I could get sugar diabetes loving someone as sweet as you.
Sugar diabetes.
Sugar diabetes is the problem.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
Sugar diabetes. You know, I could get sugar diabetes loving someone as sweet as you. Okay.
Sugar diabetes.
Yeah, that is funny.
I feel like that's somebody holding a straw hat in their hands as they say it.
Yeah.
And the rest of the barbershop quartet is over there going, come on, Richie, you could do it. You know, I could get sugar diabetes loving a gal as sweet as you.
You know, I could get sugar diabetes. It's like,
Well, and that's the opening to their next number.
by the way, to me, they're wearing a sport jacket, but it's white and red stripes.
Yeah.
Almost
Sugar
like a
diabetes.
yes, barbershop.
Prick my finger, check my blood right now. Working up the courage to ask you how you can be so sweet. Let me see your feet.
Sugar diabetes.
Don't be a tease. Sugar diabetes. Don't be a tease. All right, this is 3 in a row.
Okay.
Knock 'em
3 in a
out.
row.
Do it.
You just hit them hard, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's now or never.
That's it.
Yeah. Oh, she's walking away. Can I be your friend?
That's
That's a brag.
Oh, she's still walking away. Can I drive you home?
That's a double Brad.
The rare double Brad.
Wow.
You don't like to see it.
Whew.
You don't the double doink.
This one, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I think this is just insulting.
Okay.
I think Rodney Dangerfield must have said this to somebody in a movie. What's that perfume you're wearing? Catch of the day?
That's funny.
Doesn't it sound
That's a good
Hey,
joke.
what perfume are you wearing? Catch of the day?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what... Catch of the day.
So, what kind of perfume you wearing? Catch of the day? Like, that's...
Her pussy stinks. That's insane.
I love it.
Oh man, that's insane. We're almost done. We're almost done.
Okay, all right, I
These
like 'em.
have been truly. This was the gift that kept on giving.
Yeah.
When I got the book,
Yeah.
and I did the thing on stage afterwards, I asked the owner, one of the owners of the winery, "Can I please have this book?
Yeah.
Please, I'm begging you. Can I have this book? If not, I'm going to take a picture and I'll try and find it on
Yeah.
Amazon or something like that,
Yeah,
eBay,
yeah.
whatever." And he's like, "I got that book like 20 years ago at a garage sale." Or
Yeah,
something.
sure, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, and I'm starting to be like, damn, right? And I was like, yeah, because I was gonna do it on a podcast I have with a couple of buddies of mine. And he's like, take it.
Wow, that's nice.
Take it.
I love that.
He's
Yeah.
like, I got it 20 years ago. It took me 19 years to go through all 1001 lines.
Right,
yeah,
but,
right.
But last year I met my wife with line number 1001.
What's her perfume?
I know what you're thinking. You see visible stink lines. She's like, I know what you're thinking. How did I didn't know dollies came full grown. Go ahead and do it.
Not only did the pickup line work, but it's a pipital part of their relationship, which I really
he's
like.
He's like, please take it. Please take the book.
It's the monkey's
Oh
paw.
no! Yeah, it's a curse. It is.
the monkey's paw.
This is the book version of the video cassette that
From
you
The
get
Ring.
from the
Oh
Ring.
no.
Yeah.
I have a rough week.
Would it be possible to sit at your feet and beg?
Yeah, okay, I like that one.
It's so. This one is almost exactly like the one previously that you were going to text. You remind me a lot of my mother.
That's another one?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Very Oedipal. Very Oedipal.
Yeah.
Hey, can I kill your dad and fuck you? Wait, no, kill my dad and fuck you.
Wait. Who's that?
Shit. Can you wear this wig? Oh, this is disgusting. Here you go, Chuck.
Yes.
I think I bought a case of Girl Scout cookies from you once.
Yeah, it was 4 minutes ago.
You just turned around and came back.
You're holding the cookies.
That's Jerry Seinfeld's opening line. I think I bought a case of Girl Scout cookies from you once. Either you or a microwave is messing up my pacemaker.
No, that's funny. That's legit funny.
These are getting. I feel like you go through life when you go through the book.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now you're just like you're a horny old man, a creep.
You know what? The earlier
The
mother
one that
one.
no one washes at the
The
old folks'
earlier
home.
mother one, the mother was still alive.
Yeah, this
one,
one-
she has passed away.
He says that to the nurses, and he means it.
Yeah.
He calls them by his mother's name.
You're taking care of me.
Yeah.
You're bringing me juice. Yeah.
It's 1942.
1942. I gotta get out of here.
This one, ladies, Funbearable ladies, fun bearettes,
Yeah.
right? This is perfect, and I know Sabrina is our Spaßbär, so she's our number one. She's from Germany. Maybe try this in German, Sabrina. Whoa, you gorgeous hunk of man! I'll be here again tomorrow. See ya.
These are all
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like these people were like, is there a way to write around how normal people talk?
Yeah. Pickup lines or people just making like. Do you get off on seeing confused faces?
Do you like word collages?
You know, they say that give infinite monkeys infinite typewriters, and you'd eventually get the works of Shakespeare. This 1001 monkeys, one typewriter.
My friends say the sex change was a success. What do you think?
That's fun.
I guess
That's fun.
it's an odd. It's
How do
an
your
oddball.
friends-
These are the pacemaker one and that one are more like insults to yourself. Like they're self-deprecating jokes.
Here's another perfume. Not catch of the day.
Oh, okay.
This one's worse.
Oh,
Okay, perfect.
It's
How?
not insulting, but it makes you look worse. What perfume? What perfume are you wearing? I think it's the same perfume as a character in my novel.
You could say that one.
I'm
That
a-
one's not so sexual.
I'm a writer, don't you want
That's
to know?
G-rated.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could say that one. And then they're like, "Oh, well, you're writing a novel?" And you're like, "Yeah, it's an erotic novel."
Say I am now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've heard of 50 Shades of Grey. I say, why stop at 50?
53 shades.
Isn't yours 50 Shades of Beige? And then they kissed respectfully in broad daylight.
In front of the pastor who had just married them.
And you're sitting there going,
I got to put this down. It's making me think bad things.
all right, Brad, that was one for you. Chuck, this one's for you. Hi, you look clean.
Again, these are like jokes now.
I think so.
You know what I mean? Like they're not.
There's just a couple left.
Okay.
Thank goodness.
Can I buy you a condo?
Okay.
Oh,
weird.
all right.
That one's like, what?
Did
Very
you say
generous.
condom?
No, I said condo. Condominium.
Okay, because
Speaking of mini, got a
because
small
Trixie
penis.
don't do condoms.
Trixie. Are you a trickster, Trixie?
I like. Yeah.
Or do you
Going-
turn them? What's that cologne you're wearing? Cologne? Yeah.
Cool water.
Wet butthole? All right. If I didn't have this heart condition, I'd make you an offer you couldn't refuse.
Oh, there we go. That's something I could use.
That's another interesting. Yeah, that's true.
That is, these are weird. All right. I'm dying to see if you're as good as you look.
What is that? Oh, geez. Yeah. I was like, what does that mean?
That's the response from the woman. What is that? Oh, jeez.
Halfway through, I abandoned it.
And then this is the last one.
Okay.
From the last tattered page of this sticky book. You remind me of my fourth lover. I've only had 3. What a weird way, what a weird brag, right?
Oh, I like that one.
You remind me of my fourth lover. I've only had 3. You're going to be the 4th.
A lot
you
of
might
these
as well
are,
be there.
They become pretty self-deprecating by the end.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
but I
like-
don't know if it's intentional.
I don't think I think a lot of them are also other deprecating.
Yeah, me too. I agree with that.
Good news.
You okay?
The purchase of this book, I did not see this coming. In fact, I didn't know this until I just looked at the first page now. Compiled by the Tanqueray Sterling Vodka
Right, of
Bartender
course.
Survey, with
Yep.
all profits to the company going to TJ Martell Foundation to combat leukemia. I did not expect
So we're doing some
that.
good.
We
hey,
do-
we're
doing
fighting leukemia. I don't see that in here. Excuse me, I occasionally donate to leukemia causes.
There you go. That's good.
You know, your hair falls out. What if your pants fell down?
Are you the life-saving leukemia treatment? Insert name of it here, because I need you to live.
Yeah. Am I a?
Because I'm dying.
Call me irradiated fluid that goes through your body once weekly because I got to be inside you. So disgusting. This was the first printing was October 1993.
Oh wow, a lot newer than I expected.
1993.
Wow.
Amazing.
Wow, man.
Jurassic Park didn't exist yet.
What year was it? October?
October. No, that's a month.
Jurassic Park was out by then.
93?
Yeah, that's when it came out.
Oh, okay. I'm
That
sorry.
summer.
Pearl Jam was still
it's
new.
brand new, but we'll put it
They
that
should
way.
have. They should have used that.
Yeah.
They should have used a Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Put you in Ember. You're a specimen, right? Like something
Yeah,
like that.
that's pretty good.
I said Ember, not Amber. Damn. And that's how they got Amber Alerts.
Are you Unix? Because I'd like to know this. No.
No.
I'd like to know this.
Hold on to your butts. Well, just one butt.
I'll hold your butt.
There we go.
How about Nature Finds a Way?
Ooh.
Huh?
You rejected me last week, but nature finds a way. Or life finds a way? Nah, I don't think it's going to happen.
How about just over and over, Newman.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's insane. Truly,
Yeah.
I like it.
And in 2023, like, do you think pickup lines are used? When I was a child, I assumed you could do that when you were older.
I think that's what it was. I think that everyone as a kid is mystified by the idea of how a guy becomes a person that has sex with people. And
Right,
so you
right.
just go like, how does that happen?
I went
And
to
so
the library so many times, and nobody would tell me.
Well, so I think the idea of like pickup lines. It's how you go to a bar, you meet a girl,
Yeah.
you say a funny thing, and
You
she
say,
likes you.
"Hey, they're good looking. I'll be back to pick you up later."
Yeah, and like I don't think that they ever have really.
It's whatever the Fonz did.
Although are
Do
they?
you think they've ever genuine? I feel like they must have been used.
that's-
but maybe
Yeah.
like ironically, or
No,
sarcastically.
I think there are people who looked through that who tried those. Try, not the ones that we talked about, but we're like, oh, I'm going to use this to break the ice because they are so socially inept that any port in a storm. And so they're like, well, I'm going
Maybe.
to try this just to start the conversation.
maybe.
I mean, there are men today
Yeah.
that will, follow the pickup artists and they'll read The Game.
Yep.
And they'll do negging and peacock and all those shit things. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There's a reason why those guys have like their online courses that they're selling so guys can watch that stuff. There are dudes on YouTube like they wear like a fucking GoPro and will just approach women all fucking day. And it's
Yeah.
disgusting.
They do like pickup line stuff.
They have opening lines and stuff, but
Yeah,
then it's
yeah.
just weird and wrong and creepy.
Right.
And it's like, this is awful.
Yeah, because you're not looking for a genuine connection. You're looking for content.
Yeah, exactly.
And a negative response, possibly even better for content than a positive response. I think, you'll see compilations of Tinder chats or whatever, online dating chats that use, generally the ones you see are clever.
Yeah, dating apps have a lot of
And
opening,
puns,
they're they're
puns
not
on somebody's
pickup lines,
names.
they're opening lines.
Right.
Yeah.
That seems like more like what I would think that these are used for because they're almost like tongue in cheek a little bit.
Yeah,
if
but
you say
this
a
was
funny thing.
93.
I
They
know,
didn't
you're right.
exist.
No,
Yeah,
they,
it didn't
they,
exist.
they,
Yeah,
they
you're
had just
right.
had tongues, no cheeks.
Yeah, right.
The closest was like video dating.
Yep.
Where
I
you
love
made a
that.
video. Oh, I love finding those videos.
Oh
Are you
my
kidding me?
God.
Hi, I'm Robert. I'm
I-
an accountant.
I think
and-
it's so funny that anyone ever did this.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense, I guess,
Yeah.
in terms of like if we do online dating now, it's kind of similar.
Yeah.
But man, that's so funny.
It's incredible. I love it.
I'd love to make an online dating tape
Why'd you look at me when you said that?
because we could all make them.
Okay.
Ray can be the director.
How do I make money on this?
Feet.
Now step in it. Now step in it.
No, all right, step on him.
Yeah. I hate the shrieks.
Oh, forgot to have film in the camera. Sorry, step on him again.
That's great.
Yeah. Well, it's hard out there for singles.
It is.
And if you're a listener, if you're a single if you've ever used or have had used on you a pickup line.
Yes.
We'd love to hear it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, hearing one in the wild.
Oh.
I'm sure people have some stories, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They must.
I would love to hear. Did you ever use a pickup line? Has a pickup line ever been used unused? Do you have a friend that used a pickup line or something?
Right.
Anything with pickup lines. Right
Exactly.
in. Funbearablepod@gmail.com. Let us know. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
Try and pick us up.
Yeah, try to pick us up. Ray's married. We're trying to get that out there.
I'm married.
He's off the market.
I mean,
I don't even go near the market.
You can compliment him on his mouth.
This little piggy goes
You
to the
can
market.
you can ask me where I got my pretty mouth.
My pretty mouth. And please, if I do remind you of your mother, let me know.
Let me know. Did you have an aggressive fat mother? Well.
Real mommy dearest situation.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for listening and or watching. We appreciate it. We're glad we didn't get swept away in a tornado. We're glad we learned so much. Oh, okay. There's a tornado outside right now.
Jeez, looks stunning, but wow. Tornado warning, guys. Get out of here.
We're gonna.
I
Have
like the idea of really quick, just the last misread of this. I like the two of you see somebody in the back doing the twirl, and you guys go, and you start to just do circles. You're just walking around. Yeah, you're like, put your foot in. Do the hokey pokey. Oh, hokey pokey. Honky
Honky
tonk.
tonk.
Here he is, ladies and gentlemen.
one of the longest reigning intercontinental champions of all time, the Honky Tonk.
He has bottle caps on his shoes, and he's gonna do some dancing for you.
Thank you all so much for hanging out with us for this episode. For Chuck Staten and Ray Harrington, I am Brad Rohr saying thank you so much, and we're sorry for being Funbearable.
Oh, that's the pickup line.
That is.
Go up to a stranger,
Yep.
man or woman, whatever you're looking for,
Yep.
whatever strikes your little fancy, and you say, "Hey, you look like you listen to Funbearable.
Yes.
I listen to Funbearable too. Are you a Fun Bear?" And then
Right.
immediately making out.
Because well, and if they don't, no, like
Yeah, exactly.
Sure, yeah. Oh no, I was gonna say like introduce it to them
Brad
also
is,
fine.
instead of being like "fuck you."
Brad only would. Yeah, I have a very specific pool that I date from, and it's fans of me.
Yeah, of the three of us, I'm the most likely to date that way, Chuck. We're gonna turn off the cameras and we're gonna talk some more about this.
Listen, it's very clear. You shit where you eat. You don't shit, and I don't eat. I guess
A long time ago, I'll say this last thing.
we were done. All
In
right.
2013,
Yeah.
you could search Tinder by bands that people liked,
Oh, okay.
and I had a band.
Did you search that band?
It's interesting to find out.
It's interesting. We have something in common. We both really love me. All right.
Yeah, dude, you remember that?
I do. That's how we got into the Fast and Furious movies, because a fan of Senior Discount that Chuck was hitting on online, her favorite movie was listed as the Fast and Furious Saga,
And we thought Saga was funny.
Sure. Yeah.
and and then we watched the movies, and now we're like,
Oh yeah, it is a saga.
It
yeah.
is a Saga.
Yeah, you're problematic, man. If you ever exploded, you would absolutely fall into the Miranda Sings or whatever her name is thing.
What
yeah.
do you mean?
You'd be a groomer.
I'm not. They were old.
They were old. Oh God! I mean, we're still technically calling it grooming. They were impressionable. They were at an age where they were basically children, if you understand what I'm saying.
Hello?
Yeah. He used to go up to them and go, "Hey, do you know who you are?"
I got an idea.
Can I drive you home? Do you know where you live? You do? Forget about it. Forget it, sweetheart.
Can you groom backwards?
Wow, those orthopedic shoes look beautiful on your feet.
There was a 45-year age difference between Chuck and the last person he dated. Wow, how old? Like, they were 45 years younger than him. I thought he was only 38.
Oh.
He is.
Other way. Yeah. Other way. He said he likes short-term relationships. He likes to go hard but get out quick. That's what he's...
And Brad's just like sitting in his car right now. I don't want to hear this.
Chuck's at a bar. He sees he's an elderly woman, and he just goes, Well, thank you for being a friend.
That's the button.
Bye.